This is Boldcastify, the bold new way to podcast with your host.
This is Clay.
This is Jay.
I'm Justin.
Hey guys, it's going to be a special edition of Circle Up Prowl, Season 2, Episode 6, Part 1, Cinco de Mayo edition. This is when it's recorded.
Cinco de Mayo. I think tequila shots are in order.
They probably are. We'll get some of those coming up here shortly. Alright guys, JAX Draft 17. Leonard Fournette taken with the 4th overall pick.
Shocking? No.
No, we know who we're going to pick for 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was just hoping for something different. Hoping for the proverbial wrench.
Yeah, I had this locked into us forever.
Well, now that it's here, how do you feel about it?
Everyone looked depressed. I have the video. Y'all had some not happy looks.
I think I have my hands up in the air.
The video says it all. Mark
literally tried to asphyxiate himself.
That wasn't even our pick either.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So a little backstory: we're at the NFL draft party at Jaguars headquarters, EverBank Field drive.
Close enough.
And
Jason's already hitting the tequila.
yeah. So at any rate, I think it was second overall pick. Or was the third pick?
Well, it was the third pick, but they traded up to the second pick.
Yes.
Which had everyone blown away because even I was debating, like, could it be Leonard? It's got to be Solomon Thomas. It's got to be one of the two.
And then Solomon Thomas went, and we were like, balls. It's Leonard Fournette.
Right.
Yeah. And so I knew for a simple fact that since they already drafted a running back last year, they were not.
Well, they already had an $18 million quarterback on the roster, but that's beside the point.
So Mark, he goes, they're drafted Dalvin Cook. And the rest is history.
Surprise! Nobody drafted Dalvin Cook in the first round.
And surprise, they drafted a quarterback because that's the only player you trade up for.
8 times out of 10.
9.5 times out of 10.
That's the only player you're going to trade up for.
In the top 10 is the only player you're trading up for.
It still shocked everyone, especially when they had their $18 million quarterback invited to their draft party, their Miller Lite draft party in Chicago, hosting, talking to people, kissing babies, all that other stuff. He is watching the party with everyone else. They even asked him, "Who do you think we're drafting? Maybe a receiver, maybe Fournette." This is what Glennon's saying.
Yeah, they got a video.
Yeah. They said the look of utter disdain and anger in his face when he saw them trade up for, the actual pick for Trubisky.
That's what it sounds like when giraffes cry.
Poor fella.
Well, okay, so our buddy Mark, who's thinking that they're trading up for Dalvin Cook and not a quarterback, starts asphyxiating himself to the point where we're telling him to shut up.
It's normal. I mean, anyone that's listened to these podcasts before, you probably heard them once or twice.
So, at any rate, he has to run out, and I hear a guy about 4 rows in front of us go, "Everything all right, buddy?" And he goes, "I just can't believe they drafted him. I just can't believe it."
And none of us at this podcast can believe that they drafted him.
No, honestly, I don't believe a lot of people can believe.
No, I don't even think the Bears couldn't believe they drafted him. Let's be real. After paying a quarterback $18 million, whether he looks like a draft, that's irrelevant.
Let's spoil some takes for down the road in this podcast. I didn't think going in, and I still don't think after the fact, that there were any quarterbacks that were really first-round quarterbacks.
I'm in 100% agreement with you. I am not a big fan of this crop, especially not as high in the value that these people traded up for. I just don't see it. That's just me personally. But you can read a bit more about my takes and my views on the Boldcastify Draft Review 17 on the website. I think next year's crop's going to be much better.
So, number 2 overall, way too high.
Yeah, and the fact that it comes out that they were just playing themselves.
Oh, yeah, great article. Little plug for Peter King, like he needs it on his Monday morning quarterback. They were in the war room the whole time with San Francisco. Amazing. Basically, they bartered with Chicago. Chicago's like, oh, we'll trade. We want to trade up. We need this. But didn't tell them who or what for. San Francisco obviously assumes, like most everyone else, it's for Solomon Thomas. Because they were pretty sure at this point, because it's before the draft, that, or that's what their sources were telling them. They were pretty sure. Anyways, everything transpires.
Which, by the way, Myles Garrett absolutely loves dinosaurs.
Supposedly he wants to be a paleontologist. They should pair him up with the dude in Los Angeles.
They brought that up a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And besides the fact that any person with a little common sense, a little football knowledge would tell you that when you spend $18 million on a quarterback, he's probably going to be your day one starter. So that's it.
Well, that's what's making everyone think that this GM is probably going to be on the way out. Because he has made and he is making a lot of questionable decisions.
Oh, yeah. John Fox and him, I read the other day.
Ryan Pace.
That they are at odds with each other.
And the fact John Fox did not know who they were drafting.
This is the team that lost to the Jaguars.
Yes.
At home.
At home.
Yeah, to a fifth string wide receiver? Literally.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's
Thank you,
my boy.
17.
That's my boy, Ben.
Represent. Pretty much they got blindsided. They took the chance. San Francisco did. Let the trade happen. Thinking they'd lost Solomon. And then, lo and behold, Solomon's still on the board. They moved back one spot and gained 2 third-round picks and a 4th.
Man, we need to hire our GM straight off of a television set.
Right?
Because that guy...
Hey, but their GM went to Stanford.
That's true. Smarty pants.
Smarty pants. He's a mean one. Mr. Lynch. I digress. What do y'all think about the draft as a whole? Our draft. Get away from everyone else's. At least for now.
I feel like our draft was pretty run-of-the-mill, except for D.D. Westbrook, which by the way was the coolest pick out of the whole bunch, in my opinion.
Coolest pick?
Yeah.
Jason likes bad boys, apparently.
Yeah.
He means it's the sexiest pick.
No,
I
not...
don't know. You watch Fournette run, he's pretty sexy.
Well, I expect him to be...
He's an animal.
Okay, here's the difference between expecting... Fournette's got to come out... He's got to damn near win the rushing title his rookie season.
Whoa, that's a bold prediction.
He does. That's the standard that Zeke set up.
Yeah, but he's not getting behind the line from Zeke.
Irrelevant.
That line's pretty relevant to the conversation.
Irrelevant.
It is part of the truth. It's part of the fact.
He doesn't have to be the rushing title champion.
He has to
be in the
come
conversation.
damn near close.
He has to be in the conversation, at the very least, offensive rookie of the year.
Yep.
Now that I'll give you.
Yep.
He should be in the conversation, or damn near should be the offensive rookie of the year.
Which we should be
That'll
talking
give
a
you.
year from now. We should be talking about how he got, as a rite of passage, he got snubbed for rookie of the year, like Maurice Jones-Drew and Fred Taylor.
100%.
Yes.
Because it's a rite of
Absolutely.
passage for great running backs in Jacksonville.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's...
He's not going to win
what-
it.
and
That's I
what
just
I'm
want to
saying.
soften that blow. He's not
Right.
going to win it.
But that's what I'm saying.
This is Duval.
Yeah.
Small market.
So, and usually that goes hand in hand. Because what happened with Zeke? He was in the running. He won the rush title last year. He was in the running for rookie of the year too.
He also had the Dallas Star on his helmet on a team that went 13-3. I just want you to lower your expectations a little
I
bit.
know, but you're not supposed to. Those expectations should be held equally throughout the 32 teams. Whether we're shit remains to be unknown.
It doesn't matter if we're the best team in the NFL or not.
There you go.
Because we're the Jaguars. He probably doesn't win rookie of the year. But he should be good enough to be in the conversation.
Should be.
That's my point.
But what I'm saying is
he should be
Zeke
good
went
enough.
into a more ready situation in Dallas with a plug-and-play offensive line. As good as Zeke is, and Zeke is
Well, according to Dave,
more ready with his vision, looking to the next level than what Fournette is currently. But that line was already plug-and-play.
according to Dave Caldwell, I know you have XM. I had to read the XM excerpt from the interview. He said he believes our offensive line. He named out every starter. Guess who the starter is at right tackle? Not that fucking 33-year-old geriatric from Miami. Is a rookie.
I mean, where are you going to draw?
So that is the only player that's changing from this year
You're going to have to fill me in.
Yeah, you got to translate that one to English.
Cam Robinson.
Okay, Cam Robinson from Alabama.
Yes.
They
So
said
he's a
gonna
right tackle?
They said he's going to be competing for
Oh,
left
left
tackle.
tackle. Sorry.
Okay, that makes more sense. All right.
Left tackle.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
he's not. He's not even competing.
That's what they said.
No, not in the interview. He said he is the right tackle.
Right or left? I'm so confused now.
I heard him on Jaguars Live this week. It all depends on, like, if Brandon Albert has a pity party and never shows up,
Right.
then you've got your left tackle, and it's a second-round pick. But that's not going to happen.
Part
He's
of it.
going to
But
show up eventually.
They're trying to
'cause he has
placate to him
But-
and basically say, hey, we got a left tackle here, and if you
But-
don't show up, you can sit there and just
But my point,
not get you paid.
But my point is, they are, and he clearly said it in breaking down the offensive line.
Okay, who was left guard? Is it Amamwe? Namwe?
I think it's between two players.
Which one was AJ Cann terrible at?
Left guard, right guard.
I think both.
No, he was good at one of them.
No, he was good at one of them. His first year, he was pretty good.
It's a mystery. It's a trick question because nobody knows the answer.
Well,
Whatever he did last year, he was not.
I don't have my phone in front of me, but just know things are not going to change as drastic as everyone assumes in Duval County they're going to change. You're looking at one new player on the offensive line that hadn't played last year in some sort of rotation on our offensive line.
Logically, too, if Albert shows up.
No,
Yeah,
because
actually.
Cam Robinson's not going to play then.
Yes, he would.
Yeah, you're not going to keep him off the field.
He's not
Cam
gonna-
Robinson's going to play.
They're already really pushing the idea
didn't see it.
They're already pushing the idea of best 4 offensive linemen will be on the field. And so that's their political way of leaving it open to
Yeah.
wherever they want to put him. A lot of people are saying kick him inside. My plan personally would be to kick Parnell inside because he's garbage at pass
Supposedly-
blocking, but he's
supposedly they're
very
really
good
high.
at run blocking.
Yeah, which
Supposedly they're really high on.
and that's where Cam is. He's pretty good at run blocking.
Yeah, I
His
just
pass
don't think
blocking
you
needs a
pay
lot of work.
Parnell that much to make him a guard, so my idea
No.
probably doesn't ever happen.
Probably not.
But my point is, there's not that much changing on the offensive line, theoretically.
Theoretically, no. You already knew what you were getting after free agency and now the draft. Only thing that can change it now is if they get a guy off the scrap heap in training camp or one of these undrafted free agent guys shines out in rookie minicamp.
And I
Wrapping up
guess-
here, unless they address something.
And I guess the 33-year-old geriatric that hasn't played a complete season in 5 years, he wants a pay raise.
I don't think he even wants a pay raise. I
Or
think
He wants a
guaranteed
guaranteed bump. That's
money.
he just wants it to be guaranteed. No, what you got is what you got.
But my point, to circle back around, my point is, they really thought our offensive line was such garbage. Why they address it more?
I don't think they think it's such garbage.
Well, that's the thing.
Come from the horse's mouth, right here.
Well, yeah, because they've already said in statements that they don't think the offensive line is garbage, but hey, that's their opinion. They thought it was
Yeah,
right.
I know.
Yeah,
I
part
know.
one-
I read it.
Part 1, that's offensive. I'm not a horse. Part 2,
Justin Deflin does not look like John Elway.
yeah, I'm not no John Elway looking.
All right.
Part 2.
So, I
Part
digress.
2. Part 2. Their whole plan for the offensive line last year got shot in the foot the second that the injuries happened.
Yeah, injuries
there's
were
a lot
piling
of
up and
injuries.
went
Well,
down
injuries
and back.
always happen, so you got to take that into consideration, regardless.
But it still changes what you're trying to do with your offensive line. Not to mention the disparity of depth. When you start having guys go out on this line, especially last year, it's going to be a drastic drop off.
I guess
Luke
but I
Joel
feel,
going down made a big change in their
Yeah.
plans.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I feel like you gotta take the good with the bad, and every team knows that regardless. Like, why do you think Dallas doesn't have any of the same corners that they had last year? Because they were all crap, or they didn't feel like they were worth what they were paying them.
Well, we got one of those defensive backs.
They literally got rid of all 3 of their corners.
Well, that's all them. They can make that choice. They've got depth on the roster.
I bet Dallas has a big drop off this year.
Yeah,
Okay, I hope so.
I don't expect them to have the same rebound.
No bad feelings. I got a feeling that
There's
they
a
drop
reason
off.
they call it sophomore slump.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But
I hope so.
But I agree they probably should have more depth there. The only way they were going to really thoroughly address it was through free agency.
But they didn't
And they-
show any.
No,
that's
no.
my point.
They
They
got out of
did
that
make
pretty
the
quick.
call to Zeitler. But
But
they
they
were
bowed
only
out
going
like the
to.
second day.
They bowed out of it pretty quick.
Yes, they did, but he was a fallback in case Calais went to Denver. They didn't feel like spending all that money on a guard. Or should I say allocating all that money to one guard position. Or see if you could find one in the draft. You see what I'm saying? It was a little bit of a money thing. If Calais went to
money
Denver,
thing?
that was what was said.
$52 million on the books before we signed our draft picks.
I'm just
$52 million a
you
year.
still have to plan for your future.
Well, we obviously aren't resigning some of our players because we aren't. Facts are facts.
Obviously, that's the intent of saving some of the money. You want to keep your own guys.
They are banking on signing most of them because that's the whole logic and rationale behind the 5th-year option for Blake. They wanted to leave the franchise tag open
for another player.
Somebody that's probably named Allen Robinson.
Yep.
I was thinking it was Brandon Linder, but okay.
No, you shouldn't have a problem signing him.
He's going to want a big payday.
And that's where the $51 million comes in. Logically, what you're looking at $11 million
It's a doable.
at most.
It's a doable deal.
Yeah.
I think a little higher.
He's a center.
Yeah, centers are not getting paid pretty good in the NFL.
Okay, 12. That's fair.
But I mean,
But there you go. There's $11 million, $12 million, whatever. Yeah, and you've got 2 receivers coming up and Telvin.
I hate that they didn't address it more, but at the same time, their options to address the line are, spend more draft picks in a terrible draft for offensive linemen, or you could pay severely out the butt for your Zeitler types that are going to really change your offensive line, or you can go get your King Dunlops out there.
That's a good point. And just throw him in there and hope for the best.
Yeah.
He's mediocre at best.
All I'm saying is that I'm playing the fan that thinks that exactly what happened when you drafted Zeke in Dallas is what Fournette's going to do. That's what I'm playing right here.
Well, you
right
can't
now.
play that with the logic behind it because we don't have an offensive line stacked of first-round picks.
Well, sucks to suck.
Well, the point is moot. I'm just using logic.
Well, fans don't look at logic. I'm a fan right now.
Sucks to suck. They'll be more concerned with the win-loss record than his rushing total. Promise. Sometimes you have to use logic in certain things.
Tell that to the 52,000 people down at the stadium in 4 months.
I guarantee they'll like the football they see much more than what they previously have seen. Fournette's an instant upgrade. He hasn't touched the field.
I really want to believe that. We did pick a running back who is very good. A knock against him is that he can't create on his own as much as some of the other guys. I don't think this offensive line is as bad as people think it is.
I don't think it is either.
I don't think it is. I'm not
because
saying
it went down. I think it was only 30 sacks last year.
Especially
I
because
think Blake made it worse sometimes.
That's the one thing Blake got a lot better at last year.
He did.
He regressed in everything except for when he would sack himself. 2015,
But the
he was
indecision.
terrible about sacking himself because he would hold on the ball too long. He was getting rid of the ball a lot quicker, so you didn't have that problem. But the plan is to revamp the offensive line, not just in personnel, but in scheme. So the way you make a running back like Leonard Fournette work is you get running downhill faster. You do that going to a man scheme over the zone blocking garbage that we've been doing for a while. We're never good at zone blocking.
No, I don't
I'm
know
very
why
happy
they were
to
so
get rid of it.
persistent.
And we have a fair amount of maulers on our offensive line.
Yep. And we have a really good O-line coach coming in.
Brandon Linder is a guy who can do whatever you ask of him. Jeremy Parnell is a guy who thrives in those kind of man-blocking situations.
I think that's what they ran out there in Dallas.
And Cam Robinson is a big old bully who's going to thrive in a man scheme. Is what I think.
That's ideal for him. One-on-one is ideal for him, and he excels at run blocking.
Now, AJ
He's
Can...
a hell of a run blocker.
Is AJ Can going to be good enough? I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of fill-ins.
We're going to be... Yeah.
They're solid.
We're
You never
in.
know, because like you said, you don't know what's going to happen.
And I guess, as luck would have it, there's always injuries.
Yes, indeed. A big fan of the gap scheme that we're going to. Much preferred over zone. In my opinion, zone's a very dirty scheme. Never been a fan of it. And going back even further, Cam Robinson, second round pick, is not sitting on the sideline.
I feel a lot better if Brandon
He
Albert...
will be in there at some point. Yeah,
Brandon Albert-
they're not putting him on the sideline.
I'm not 100% sure about that, bud. I don't feel like that. If he doesn't start at left tackle. I don't think he might not be starting.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. He'll either be a guard, he'll be a tackle.
He will be somewhere
one
on
of
the
those
line.
spots.
You don't keep that talent off the field.
All right,
That's just
we'll
no.
see.
Why would you?
He's got
The same reason we kept
That would be idiotic.
our now middle linebacker off the field.
Well, we have an inept coaching staff.
It's
Or
also
should-
a
or
real
let me say
different
that's
position.
an inept coach, not knowing how to handle.
It's also a different position.
Yeah, it is much different. World's different.
I mean,
This is much more versatile.
Hey, I hope Cam Robinson. Me personally, I would take. I'll do it for the Jaguars if they want me to. I'll take the 33-year-old geriatric and put him out with his misery behind the goalposts. I can do that. Not a problem.
I feel a lot better about this line if Brandon Albert's playing.
Agreed. And he's not old Yeller.
I don't, because I think if he does, he'll only play for about half the season.
Ajayi's best games
That's
in
better.
Miami.
I mean, if he's in there for any part.
Ajayi's best games in Miami were the games where his offensive line was healthy,
Yep.
and Brandon Albert is very good in the run game.
Fact.
So
And you
his
see
games
these
were
things
better with
adding
Brandon
up.
Albert.
We've got a run guy. This adds up for what we're trying to build here.
And if I gotta put on my sunshine pumper, like super positive fan hat for a minute, looking back at Blake's senior year, completion percentage.
Junior year, maybe?
Junior year. Yeah. Junior.
Final
First of
year
all,
college.
his completion percentage averaged in the high 60s, 70s
Yeah, because he had an awesome running game, bud.
ish.
Yeah.
The games that he was worse, rock bottom for him his junior year was against Memphis, the week after they had played South Carolina. And his completion percentage was in the 40s. Wasn't great. They also averaged 2.8 yards carry in that game. They also ran the ball 25 times, which was a season low. Every game that they ran, the least amount of runs per game are the games that he was worse. The more runs they had in the game, the better he was.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless of how many throws he made,
Yep.
because he had a Temple game where he threw 40 passes and he was like 400 yards and his completion percentage was in the 70s. But they also ran it 38 times. There's no such thing as defense in that game. And
No.
the more they ran it, the better he was.
Yes.
And that's the thing. And that's what they're trying to get to.
that
They
is-
want to take the ball out of his hand a little bit more, much more than what it needs to be, and get some kind of balance in there. Get set up with a nice running game, something that he's never had since he's been here, and give Blake more time to basically get the
to
guy.
throw interceptions. I like it.
Okay, I wasn't gonna say that, but get someone to
Red zone
drop down
interceptions.
that extra safety in the box.
How many interceptions did he have in the last two games of the season when they switched up the offense?
I think only 1 or 0.
Oh, it was 0, actually. Yeah.
Big 0.
And they were a lot more balanced in
Yep.
that time
Oh,
period.
yeah.
What do you have?
For
300 yards in each game of some type?
Yeah.
He lost 2 fumbles in the Indy game.
Yes.
Okay, that's
So
what I was
he
thinking.
found a way to turn it over, but he didn't throw interceptions.
Yes, you could definitely see a change because in the Houston game he had like 99 yards or.
I remember Dave Caldwell saying something about 20 completion, 20 attempts a game. That's never going to happen.
No.
That's way too low.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's the point I was making. You can't take the ball out of his hand that much.
the more we run the ball, the better he will be.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a chance to f it up.
Oh, he'll have plenty of chances to f it up.
Not as
Anytime
many.
the ball's in your hand and
Not
you're throwing
as
down the
many.
field.
Not as
He
many.
won't have 40 pass attempts. though.
Yes.
That's my point.
Yeah.
And most quarterbacks shouldn't.
No.
Unless you're awesome.
Unless you are one of the best quarterbacks in the league, you should not be throwing it 40 times a game.
No, there's no reason to. Still, 40 in most cases is not necessary.
There's plenty
only,
of acceptable quarterbacks that you don't want throwing 40
There's
times
only
a
a
game.
handful of quarterbacks that can go out there, throw their arm out there, and win you a game. Win you multiple games. No running back, no nothing, just on their arm. Drew Brees, for example.
Yeah.
He'll win you some games. He'll carry a team.
There's
not really
good
much
quarterbacks.
of a running back.
There's
or
good
running game.
quarterbacks I don't want doing that.
Yeah.
If you had the chance to trade out Blake for Phillip Rivers right now, you'd probably take Phillip Rivers. I don't want Phillip Rivers throwing the ball 40 times though.
No. No, not really.
I don't think I even want Blake throwing the ball 40 times.
I don't want most quarterbacks I don't want throwing 40 times.
There's not many.
Unless they're highly efficient,
Yep.
I guess
usually Super Bowl champion quarterbacks.
I guess my point is it lies somewhere between I want to believe that Blake is because of what transpired and what you guys pushed me to believe 2 years ago. I want to still believe, but at this point, I'm done with Blake.
You're not done. You got another season up.
Yeah, he's still the quarterback.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't care.
Like, people don't like the president, say that he's not your president. If this is your quarterback, even if you don't like
Donald Trump's still your president, Blake Bortles is still your quarterback.
Yeah.
There you go.
You got to learn to live with it.
But I mean, just long I got to live with it for till 2018 or till we draft our next guy, 2018 draft. I don't care because if we the Bears can do it, so can we.
That's someone to be comparing ourselves to.
But to say
but the Bears were pick number 3.
Well, will we pick number 3 next year? Don't worry.
I don't know. I don't think so.
We'll be picking number 6. We're picking the top 10.
I just don't think we're going to be garbage enough.
Yeah, and that's my point. I don't think we'll be garbage enough.
All right,
pick up there.
I don't believe in us to win or lose enough.
Right, we'll be somewhere in that middle ground, like a 7-9, something like that.
No.
Hey, whatever. Tell it like it is now. But I'm saying we'll be somewhere just there.
We're going 8-8. The end.
So why are you arguing with me at 7-9? What the deuce?
It's the same garbage.
It's the same. It's basically you're one game off. So what's the difference?
I still think it gets you a top 10 pick, so I'm not really worried.
Well, how can you get a top 10 pick at 8-8?
Yeah, you really don't. That's middle of the pack at best.
You're in the late teens, early 20s, depending how things unfold.
You're just missing out on the draft. You're just missing out on the playoff, and you're just missing out on the high picks.
Yeah. Well, Leonard Fournette, you get there, and he has a season like he should.
Well, you guys just said that he's going behind a shitty offensive line, so I'm not expecting too much now.
I just said he's not going to have Rookie of the Year, and don't expect him to have a season like Zeke. But it doesn't say he's not going to be in the 1,000-plus yards.
1,000-plus yards doesn't get you a Rookie of the Year? The NFL then.
Well,
yeah, that's what I have to say, actually.
Yeah, literally.
Well, Zeke had, 16 something?
Yeah, it was crazy. Not to say Zeke didn't earn it. He told
but Dak got it. Of course Dak's going to get it. Dak rooted a team behind an amazing offensive line.
And running back.
Running backs. He got his own credit, so you don't give him.
I'm just telling him like it is.
You don't give him double credit.
Fred Taylor had over 1,200 yards his first year,
Same.
14 touchdowns, and averaged 4.6 per carry, his career average, and didn't win Rookie of the Year.
Nope. And that's what you're wanting. Not exactly Fred numbers, but you want something in that ballpark.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
No, I'm being dead serious. If he doesn't get anything like that...
We're not going to get that, though. Get a better offensive line, bud.
Yeah, but you just told me offensive line's fine.
Hey, I didn't tell you that. That's Dave.
I thought that was you telling me.
No. Get your facts straight, bud. That was Dave Caldwell saying the offensive line, A-okay.
Fournette has an incredible combination of height, weight, and speed.
Well, remains to be seen at the NFL level. I'm not holding my breath. There you go.
Everything's questionable at the NFL level.
Let's move on to pick number 2.
We're already kind of talking about him.
Cam Robinson.
Because they're a package deal.
Yeah.
Like
they are package deals.
The Fournette pick in a vacuum is kind of like, what are you doing picking a running back when you've got so many other needs? But then you add Cam Robinson to it, and then a plan actually starts to kind of come.
It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Yes, it does.
Along with Fournette, the real big con is his running style and how physical it is, the durability, because he juked to the left or the right and tried to avoid
That's
contact.
not his style. His style is take hits.
Right.
I watched a huge YouTube video montage about 7 minutes long about him taking hits and scoring touchdowns.
Just stiff arming people.
It's fantastic. It is amazing. It's beautiful.
So,
but imagine the hell and the chaos it does to his body.
I don't assume he's going to last more than 6 years in the NFL, but I mean,
and my point being made.
Yeah, their contracts are only for 3 years. The coaching staff and the GM and everybody. So as long as he
it's amazing how they went to win now mode.
Yeah, as long as they can hold out for the next 3 years and win some form of a championship.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
we made it.
Pretty much. Thanks for listening to part 1. Part 2 will be uploaded very soon.
If this is your first time listening, then thanks for stopping by. This has been a Boldcastify production and is produced just for the people of Duval and beyond. Also, show notes and upload dates are found at boldcastify.com. Come back often and feel free to add the podcast to your favorites on Spreaker, SoundCloud, and YouTube. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, and Snapchat at BoldCastify. All links are on social media. Think bold. Speak bold. Live bold. BoldCastify.
Least we stole show. Least we stole show. Least we stole show. Least we stole show. Least we stole show.